Coming to you live from Mars High School Gymnasium, Champ Sports Network welcomes you to our presentation of high school hoops. As tonight, Indiana Indians take on the Fighting Planets from Mars. Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Fargo, joined alongside Wes Ulher. Welcome to Champ Sports Network's presentation of WPIAL High School basketball as 2014. Frigid temperatures in western Pennsylvania, but things are heating up on the hardwood here in the WPIAL as this stretch run west of this section games, these ever so important section games, as we get closer and closer to finding out who are the contenders and who are the pretenders.
Absolutely. You know, these section games are the meat of your schedule. They're where you want to perform the best. Every team, their first goal is to win their section. That's how you get to the postseason, and that goal continues tonight.
Taking a look at these two teams, Indiana 9-1 on the season, 2-1 more importantly in conference play. Their lone loss of the year, 52-37 defeat to the Knights of Knock. That coming back in last year, back in December of the 20th of December against Knock. And since then they've been able to reel off three here in since the new year, two to end the 2013 campaign as they got wins in New Jersey, believe it or not, a 55-51 win and a 40-38 win over two teams in New Jersey. So now they come back to the Keystone State. They got a 70-41 win over Valley. Their last game against Kitsy School got postponed, as did every game yesterday, as the temperatures got so bad that schools were closed, and I have never seen school closing because of temperature rather than precipitation.
Exactly, yeah. There hasn't really been much snow. It's just been frigid temperatures. It was, under zero in the negative degrees, for a lot of the past couple days. The polar vortex, I believe a lot of people were calling it. But luckily things look to be at least a little bit warmer today, and we were able to make it out here for what should be a very interesting section clash.
Teams exchanging handshakes here to get things going. 3 versus 3 to get things going. John Costello going against Darius Carter to begin things here from Mars High School. This section battle begins with the tip won by Indiana and controlled. Derek Stapleton, the senior, moves it up to Kevin Jack. And he'll control the basketball here to the near side. It's Blake Shields with it on a left-handed dribble, working it here to the near side wing. Cross-court pass to get it over to the far side, and Kevin Jack once again. He'll dribble baseline, touch pass, wouldn't go, tipped around, still loose, on the putback try, saddle the rim, put it in, and finally putting back the putback was Darius Carter. And it's 2-0 in favor of Indiana, and Indiana gets the pocket pick here. Kevin Jack gets the steal and works it into the far side corner, works it baseline, bucket, and could not get the bucket, but does get the foul. And is headed to the line to shoot two. Is 25 in red and black. That's Kevin Jack.
Great move there to get inside. Almost got the N1 finish there.
So Jack's first up at the line and good. It's Stapleton at the line. And converts there. It's 4-0 Indiana on top. Pressuring the basketball. Indiana able to break it on the Planets. And the two-handed flush from John Costello. The 6'4 sophomore has some hops.
Great job by Mars to break the trap there.
Indiana works up the basketball now. Just a minute gone here in the first quarter, 4-2. Indians on top of Planets. Working inside, loose basketball, taken away. Nice steal. It was Owen Neerhoof with that steal, and he'll control the point right now. Conducting traffic, bounce pass into the near side to Christian Smith. Cross court back over to Nick DeCamp, who had a big game against Montour, but lost control, taken away by Indiana. Kevin Jack works at baseline, throwing off a hard one off the glass was Darius Carter, but the putback was good. Riley Stapleton able to put it back.
Lots of contact there on the inside. Refs are letting them play.
They got some Big East officials.
That's right.
One dribble, throw up a shot. It rattles in and out for Derek Stapleton. A putback opportunity, no good. Here's another shot, and that one is in. And Darius Carter and Indiana has dominated the offensive glass, and they lead 8-2 because of it.
They are cleaning up on the boards right now. Mars has got to do something about that. Looks like Indiana has a distinctive size advantage.
To the far side wing, controlled by Costello. He'll run baseline. Off the back of the backboard, behind his back. John Costello, the sophomore, putting on a show here early. And he'll head to the line for one shot to make it 8-5 if he can hit it. In case you missed it, starters for Mars. Costello, DeCamp, Neerhoof, Karos, and Schmidt. Kepros, Brandon Kepros. Here to the near side, Indiana leading 8-5. Deep three ball in the air and off the mark, thrown up by Kevin Jack. Rebound underneath. That doesn't go. Put back and a foul call. Darius Carter headed the line, and you got to love what the 6'5 senior's been able to do inside to this point.
Mars has had no answer for him. He's been all over the glass. Got another offensive rebound there. Mars really looks to be undersized compared to Indiana. They're going to have to find a way to counteract that. They're going to have to do a good job boxing out and get bodies down low.
Two shots coming at the line for Darius Carter. The first one off the rim and no good. 5:32 first quarter, 8-5. Indiana on top of Mars. Darius Carter, the 6'5 senior, second shot for the line coming up. And that one on the shooter's bounce finds its way through the cylinder, 9-5. Carter with 3 points. And here come the Planets up the floor. It's DeCamp working here to the near side. To Christian Smith. Bounce pass back over to DeCamp. He'll pull up for three at the top of the key. Off the rim, no good. Rebound is won and fought for. And a nice job by Mars fighting for that and getting the arrow. And the possession arrow will favor the Planets. That was a clean rebound by Derek Stapleton. And coming in to make a mess of it was Owen Neerhoof. Inbound goes into Ethan Lewis, who's into the game for the Planets. Neerhoof with the basketball here on the near side wing, and he works it over to Costello. Cross-court pass over to the far side wing. Double team. Was able to get it inside to Lewis. He throws up a shot. He is fouled. He's going to the line.
Good ball movement from Mars early on. Seems like they're really going to have to make their shots here. As like we've talked about, they are look to be outmanned early on the glass early.
And that shot is good from the 6'1 senior, Ethan Lewis. Planets come in 6-4, but undefeated in conference play. Sitting atop the Section 1 in Class AAA. 9-6 our score here. Indiana setting up shop from center court. It's Kevin Jack with the basketball. Crossover move to get inside, and he turned the ball over. Intercepting the path is Ethan Lewis. Lewis settles the ball down to the far side, and now here to the near. Three ball in the air from Neerhoof. It is good from the near side wing corner. And we're tied at 9. Indiana back on offense. Will set up shop to the far side. There's a three. Well off the mark. Airballed it. And the student section let him know, but a nice rebound taken away. Carter to the rack and fouled again. Darius Carter. We thought Marge had the rebound, but Carter had other plans. Went to the rim and got fouled and will head to the line. Two more coming for number 3. With 4:15 to play here in the first.
That's the second time that it looked like Mars was going to have an easy rebound, and he came flying out of nowhere.
First one on the way, and boy, Darius Carter's foul shots don't look pretty, but they find its way through anyway. Dylan Stapleton into the game for Indiana, as Riley Stapleton takes a breather. Stapleton for Stapleton, those of you keeping track there. Misses the second, 10-9. Indiana with a 1-point advantage here. To the far side rink, controlled by DeCamp. And now coming out here to the point, it's Christian Smith. Nearhoof and back to Smith. Schmidt controlling the basketball at center court. Bounce pass to get it here to the near side to Nearhoof. And he works it over to Mitch Verplank, who's into the game now. And a quick travel call. And we'll send it back the way of the Indians with 3:53 here in the opening period. Indiana brings up the basketball. Kepros on the defensive side, and we get a quick foul there from the far side. I didn't see. $15, they're going to call that one on. Ethan Lewis gets called, his second. That's the team's fourth. 4-2 in fouls here with 3:44 to play in first quarter. Indiana will get the inbound here. Planets with 4 and Indiana with 2 fouls. Inbound goes into the backcourt. Handled briefly by Shields and then handed off to Kevin Jack, who controls it. Works it to the far side at Riley Stapleton. Back here to the near side of Blake Shields. Shields talking it over to Dylan Stapleton. There's a few of them out there. Riley Stapleton with the basketball on a drive. Works it baseline. The baseline jumper's well off the mark, but a rebound underneath. And the putback is good by guess who? Darius Carter.
He has just dominated the glass on both ends so far in these first 5 minutes.
On the other end, Mars quickly trying to respond. That one too hard off the glass, thrown up by Mitch Verplank. Rebound to Indiana. They push it up the floor, leading 12-9. Swing it here to Stapleton. Stapleton thought about pulling up. Will work it, though, to the right. And his counterpart, Riley. Now inside to Carter. Carter, the little give and go to Blake Shields for 2.
Carter drew the entire interior of the Mars defense there, and all he had to do was make an easy pass for the lay-in.
Nearhoof swatted out of the atmosphere. A block by Darius Carter. Lead pass in transition to Jack. He misses a layup. Rebound underneath by Mars. They'll push it up the floor quickly in transition. Nearhoof with the basketball. The floater off the rim, no good. And quickly rebounded by Dylan Stapleton. And Indiana pushes it up the floor. With 2:10 to play here in the first quarter. Quick, fast pace there, but no points come out of it. Pull up Jay off the mark by Blake Shields. And a foul call. Stapleton gets charged with the foul, his first. And team's third. 14-9 our score, 2 minutes to play. First quarter. Up the floor comes Christian Smith across the timeline for the Planets. To his left and Nick DeCamp. DeCamp on a right-handed dribble. Bounce pass to Nearhoof. Now they get it into the corner. It's controlled by Austin Fetzko, who backs it out to the center line. Gives it away to DeCamp. And now to checking into the game, Brent Clock. Clock on a turnover. Ahead from Carter to Shields. And a foul is charged to Marsh on a driving off the right block there. That was Ethan Lewis. No, they're going to call that on Christian Smith. It was Dylan Stapleton who was driving there. Well, Darius Carter is going to take a breather here for the first time tonight, so maybe Marsh can work some magic with him on the bench here, because they have not been able to find an answer when he's out there. Off the inbound. They get it back out to Dylan Stapleton. Now a deep 3 ball is drained. And Jordan Hazicki. And I tell you what, I don't even think if Jordan thought that was going in, because he was following the ball. Now a foul on the other end against Indiana. Stapleton second. think there was a problem with the score. Now it's 17-9 according to the board, which the officials came over and made sure was accurate. Fetchko got it in to Schmidt. Back over to Schmidt from Fetchko, and he returns the favor. Minute to play, first quarter. Schmidt with the basketball now. He'll drive, right block, works it. Nearhoof for three, off the rim, no good. Rebounds pulled down by Stapleton in Indiana. And a crossover move by Blake Shields to try to get it across the timeline. He'll have to pass to teammate Dylan Stapleton to do so, down to 40 seconds. Stapleton over to Riley Stapleton. Now to Hezeki.
30 seconds.
Rotating the basketball. Now driving is Stapleton. Throwing up a shot. It went off the front of the rim. No good. He got his own rebound and put it in himself. Riley Stapleton, the junior. And a 10-point advantage, 19-9. And we're coming down to 10 seconds in the first quarter. Bounce pass. Nearhoof will drive with 7. Throw up, and a jump ball is called. And that will give it to Indiana with 5 seconds to go. Indiana's sure going to want to put another basket in here because now they're not going to get the possession to begin the second quarter. We're down to 4, down to 3, down to 2. At the buzzer, floater is well off the mark. And that's the way we're going to end the first 8 minutes of basketball with our score. Indiana 19, Mars 9. High school hoops here on the Champ Sports Network. Pretty interesting first 8 minutes. Mars seem like what their game is the outside shot, and Indiana's dominating the glass, really the story of those first 8 minutes.
Indiana has owned the paint in that first quarter. You heard the name Darius Carter a couple times. He had a lot of rebounds on both ends. And they have it looks like they have a distinct size advantage in the paint, so Mars is going to have to work the ball around, and they're going to have to make their shots if they want to keep this a close game.
Well, don't be surprised by Mars' record, 6-4, 3-0 though in the section. So this one's so important. Indiana already lost in the section, as we mentioned earlier, to Knock. And the losses for Mars, though, nothing to sneeze at. Hampton, a 85-57 defeat to the number 2 team in Quad A. You have Montour, the defending champions from a season ago, 83-74 to that team. You heard that game right here on the Champ Sports Network. They also lost to Beaver Falls. That's the defending state champions in Double A. Aliquippa is Aliquippa every year in and out, and that was a close game at 86-62 game. So don't sneeze at 6-4 Mars.
And they got a tough schedule.
And I think that's done on purpose. You gotta figure out where you are early in the year. Makes you a good playoff team down the road. Mars sets up. Here's Nearhoof. 3 ball off the rim. Nice rebound, though, momentarily, and Mars able to settle it down as it went through a couple legs. And then he turned it away as it's taken away. And laying it up and in is good on the steal. It was Kevin Jack, the steal and score. And it's 21-9. And a big turnover there. Near side controlled by Sobolewski. And I think that one went out of bounds. And did that go out of bounds off of Mars? No, went off out of Indiana. And substitutions quickly check in for the Planets. Costello, DeCamp, and Ethan Lewis. Costello and DeCamp a part of that starting 5. Inbound from the baseline. They get it into Costello and then out to Nearhoof at the top of the key. DeCamp now with the basketball. They'll work it to the far side. And a quick foul. Kevin Jack going to pick up a foul here for the Indians. His first and the team's 5th. We're tied at 5 in fouls. Inbound coming from DeCamp. Nearhoof with the basketball. Trying to work it inside, and he worked it right into the hands of a waiting Kevin Jack. Jack, lead pass up ahead to Shields, who misses the layup. And a putback opportunity. A foul is called. Costello will get called for his third foul very, very, very early here in the second quarter. So you have to assume that Costello is going to become a spectator here very shortly.
And that's big for Mars because he's been their biggest body inside so far. He's been really the only one that's been able to slow down Darius Carter.
Carter misses his first shot at the line, and Carter's play on the glass is terrific. His play at the line is a little bit suspect at this point. You might be seeing a little hack-a-shack tonight. No offense to Darius. But mentioning Costello's size, he's 6'4", the largest young man on the Planet's roster. And 0 for 2 at the line is Darius Carter. 21-9, the score remains. And the Planets work to the far side wing. Bounce pass to get it over to Christian Schmidt. Schmidt trying to work at baseline. That went out off of Mars, they will say. Back to Indiana. Indiana works it in. Across the timeline, it's Kevin Jack. Over to Stapleton and back to Jack. That's Greg Lizani that you're hearing through the microphone. Calling out the play Pittsburgh, and let's see if Pittsburgh can pick up points. It cannot. It picks up a turnover. Take it away. Schmidt, the steal, and the score. Off the window.
Mars needed that one. It had been a while since they had scored a field goal.
And then a tip ball. Nierhoff got the initial steal and then able to keep the dribble was Nick DeCamp. Give him a kind of a half a steal on both of those parties. And then Ethan Lewis is up and fouled, and he's going to head to the line to shoot two for the Planets. Carter picks up his second, and this is becoming a little bit of a foul festival here with 6 fouls apiece. Still 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first half. First one in the air and good from Ethan Lewis. And Blake Shields checks in for the Indians. (21-12). And the second shot from Lewis makes it 21-13. Shields take it across the center stripe. Then it got poked away. Jack was there to pick it up. Works it right hand to the far side wing. 3 ball is in the air from Stapleton. Off the mark. Nierhoff the rebound, and he is fouled. And that's a good call and a tough call to make from the back end there. Little reach in. And now, I don't know, I might want to revoke my comment about the Big East officiating and change it to ACC.
Seriously, the first couple minutes they were letting them play there. Ever since then, it's been real tight both ways.
Hey, listen to you. Nierhoff's first at the line is good. A part of a 1-and-1 as Indiana was 7 now. Bonus time for the Planets for the rest of the way, and the way is 5 minutes and 32 seconds. Nierhoff, 2 for 2 with the charity stripe on that trip. 21-15, and the Planets chewing away.
6-0 run to get back into it here.
Far side wing, 3 ball, or near side wing, 3 ball is off the rim from Stapleton, and the rebound from the Planets as Lewis pulled it down and worked it over to Christian Schmidt. And the Planets will set up shot offensively again. Schmidt, the behind-the-back pass to get it over to DeCamp. DeCamp, the floater, off the rim, tipped around. Nice rebound underneath, but it was lost control of the basketball, did Mitch Verplank. And a timeout is going to be taken with 5 minutes to go here in this first half. 21-15, Planets trying to get back into this one against Indiana. In a crucial Section 1 battle here, the WPIAL on the Champ Sports Network. And Mars starting to figure things out right now as far as both Indiana not having as much luck on the glass.
Well, Mars's best offense so far has kind of come on the counterattack when they've played good defense, when they've forced turnovers or bad shots. So that's going to be something to watch here as the rest of this game unfolds. Mars is going to have to keep pressuring Indiana up high, try and keep them out of the paint. Because like we've said on the broadcast a couple times already, Indiana has had their way down low for the better part of this game.
Here's Indiana after the timeout. Kevin Jack double teamed. Got to get rid of the basketball. He'll just send it into the corner, and the give and go works. Stapleton gets it inside to Shields for two. Mars just overcommitted everybody to the basketball and ended up being caught off out of position. And then a turnover. Mars loses it out of bounds. And Indiana will get the basketball from the sideline. There's Shields. Up to Kevin Jack to the far side wing. Stapleton it back to Jack. Here's Shields. Lost the basketball. Nearhoof with the steal. He'll just pull up for three. Off the rim and over the backboard. Owen Nearhoof, the senior.
Made a great defensive play there. Got a little confident. Decided to stop and take the three. But I guess when you're a senior and team captain, you're the one guy who might be allowed to do that and not get subbed out of the game.
High pass. We'll go back to Mars. Greg's animated. I like it. I like when coaches show emotion.
Absolutely.
Decamp and now Christian Smith with the basketball and a right-handed dribble to Nearhoof. Out to the top and now right side wing. It's Nearhoof, cross-court pass over to the far side, and Christian Smith with the basketball now. Schmidt double-teamed. Worked it inside to Verplank. Back out to Nearhoof. He works it baseline. Backdoor play. It works. Ethan Lewis came back in the screen door and got the two. 23-17. And then a steal by Nearhoof. Nearhoof, the steal and the score off the layup. 23-19. Out of bounds, off of Indiana, back to Mars. And things falling away at the seams for Indiana in the last 13 seconds.
The last 5 minutes, Mars has really been running that trap defense, trying to catch Indiana up high. And it's been working so far. Indiana has had no answer. They haven't been able to get out of this. Mars with a couple turnovers here and a couple easy baskets in transition.
Schmidt across the timeline. It's Nearhoof for three. Yes, sir. Owen Nearhoof.
Heat check.
And it's 23-22, and Mars is just down a point. Indiana to the far side. Inside, baseline, throw up a shot off the rim, no good. It was thrown up by Stapleton. And a jump ball that's called possession arrow in favor of the Indians. And here comes Darius Carter, 2 fouls. And that had a big part to the reason why he was sitting so long. You have to wonder why, those listeners have to wonder where Darius Carter go. Well, got in foul trouble, and he's quickly onto the floor. With 2 minutes and 50 seconds to play here in the first half. 23-22, Indiana on top of Mars. Inbound from the baseline. They get it in. It's Riley Stapleton on a right-handed dribble, and he'll work it all the way around before passing it inside. It's taken away by Verplank. To Schmidt. And no foul called as Lewis drives. Bucket and the foul, Ethan Lewis. The senior gets the hoop and the harm. And you heard the oohs and the ahs that Lewis didn't get a foul called on him earlier as he was driving. Well, Mars is okay with that, how that all ended up, because he ends up getting the bucket and the foul.
What a turnaround here for Mars in the past 3 or 4 minutes.
Ethan Lewis at the line, and that is good. And the Planets have their first lead of the evening. A 25-23 advantage. To the far side wing. They'll work it inside. Pull up Jay, 15 feet, no good. Underneath, there he is. Darius Carter quickly re-enters and quickly recycles for two. And we're tied at 25. Planets rotate the basketball. Far side. That was DeCamp for three off the rim, but nicely done. Of pulling the rebound was Ethan Lewis. Out of bounds off of Lewis. I think he might have stepped on the line in the corner there.
Looked like he tried to throw it off the Indiana player's leg, but it might have been too late.
(25-25). Under two to play here in the first half. Good one here from Marsh. Kevin Jack. Stapleton, and now three ball in the air and drained by Blake Shields, the junior. From the far side wing, puts Indiana back in front. Baseline, worked it out to DeCamp, and now to Nearhoof on the far side. Back to Schmidt here on the near. Schmidt the head fake, and worked it back over to DeCamp. Cross-court pass to Ethan Lewis, who's played some big minutes coming off the bench. Here's Schmidt for three, and he answers. And we're tied at 28 with the minute to play. Bounce pass to Kevin Jack. Jack the feed to Zanakis, and he misses. Rebound underneath, and a quick foul called on Indiana. We'll push into shoving, and got to shake hands there. Officials got things on wraps. I'm liking this crew, though. There hasn't been anything ticky-tack, really.
They've been very consistent the whole time. That's all you can ask for. Just looked like they might have bumped into each other after the play there. Nothing of ill intent.
Smart play, or smart call, if you will, to Darius Carter and Stapleton check out. They're the ones that foul trouble. Why pick up a bad third foul? This game is obviously destined for a big second half, so don't play into the Planet's favor here as DeCamp hits his first. He gets his second on its way, and that one on the shooter's roll is good, 30-28. And Ethan Lewis checks out. Lewis here's Indiana up the floor. To the far side wing, controlled by Stapleton. And now the baseline jumper just inside the arc, thrown up by Shields. Off the mark, put back is no good. Rebound is loose on the floor, battling for it, and a timeout taken by the Planets. With 28 seconds, the first one by Marsh. The Planets will have 28 seconds to try to add to their 2-point advantage. And I think the dynamic of this game, Wes, has changed because of the fouls, and both teams having to watch what's going on. Right now, there's only one player on the floor with 2 fouls, and that's because most of them with 2 or greater are sitting on the bench and watching the rest of this first half.
It looked like early on like they were going to let them play, but things have been tight, but pretty tight since about halfway through the first quarter, I'd say. Both teams having to use a lot of subs, but that has it's kind of worked out, and a lot of hustle plays being made out there. You know, a lot of the starters are taking a seat here, and a lot of guys are getting a chance to prove themselves here in a big game. And there's been a lot of activity on the glass both ways, and when that happens, you tend to have some more fouls called.
So after the timeout, Planets to inbound. Indiana's going to give them basically half court to get up the floor here. 25 seconds Christian Smith controls the basketball on a right-handed dribble and will cross the center stripe. Worked it over to the far side. Austin Fetchko into the game. Fetchko's battling right now. Up against Mazzecchi. Crossover by Ethan Lewis. And he tossed it over to Schmidt. Schmidt will pull it for three at the buzzer. Off the rim, no good. And that's the way we will end the first half of play. It is the Marsh Planets 30. The Indiana Indians 28. And a good one here from the home of the Planets. High school hoops, high school basketball game of the week here on the Champ Sports Network. Turning out to be just that.
Absolutely. Been great back and forth action here in the first half. Early on, it looked like Indiana was going to kind of have their way. Marsh found a way to claw back into it, and we should be set up for a very interesting second half here.
All right, so we'll take a break. Now we will. We'll take a break here on the Champ Sports Network. It's the high school basketball game of the week. 30-28 is our score. Back to Mars after these words. Welcome back to Mars. It's 30-28. Planets on top of the Indians from Indiana. Go figure. That was a tough name to figure out. And the Planets from Mars. This is the most obvious two mascots going. And we got our own planet. Wes Ulher, a graduate of Mars High School. We, of course, say that at halftime instead of the beginning of the game so you don't get criticized for being a homer.
Exactly. You got to remain objective. That's what this is all about. But it is nice to be back. First time in a couple years I've been in here, and so it's always nice to come home and check out your alma mater and how things changed, but how they've stayed the same at the same time.
Yeah, no question about it. I have multiple homecomings because no one claims me.
Yeah, you've been everywhere.
So no, I know the feeling, and it's nice to visit, and then it's nice to leave.
Absolutely.
Well,
nice to see some old faces, but then glad to be moved on.
Then you realize they're old faces for a reason.
Exactly.
Well, the Planets are on top by 2, 30-28, and really a spectacular second quarter. And I don't know, can you point to one individual? I think Owen Nierhoff's played well defensively, really setting up some good steals. John Costello played well for the Planets early, but no doubt Indiana, the man, the myth, the legend right now is Darius Carter, and he got into foul trouble and maybe the reason why the Planets are ahead by 2 right now.
Absolutely, yeah. He spent a lot of the second quarter, on the bench. John Costello for Mars spent a lot of the second half on the bench, both with foul problems. So we'll see kind of how that plays out here in the next 16 minutes. Like you said, Mars got real stingy there on defense the last 4 or 5 minutes of the second quarter, forced a lot of turnovers, forced a lot of bad shots. And so that'll be a story to follow, see if Mars can keep that up, the kind of trap that they were running, the half-court trap they were running there as soon as Indiana would bring the ball across midcourt. So we'll see what happens here. Indiana, early on they dominated down in the paint. It looked like they might have run away with this one. I think they were up 12 at one point. But Mars was able to play defense and shoot their way back into this thing and behind a lot of good teamwork. And so we'll see how things play out here in the second half. It should be a good one.
30-28 our score. It's the high school basketball game of the week here on the Champ Sports Network, always served up by Panera Bread. Live consciously, eat deliciously. Panera Bread. And this is the only high school basketball broadcast on Champs, but this week, not ever. But hockey tomorrow on the network as Moon will take on Chartiers Valley, a rematch of, believe it or not, Monday's game. So teams playing very close to each other. This time, Chartiers Valley will have to head to the Airport Ice Arena and take on Moon and the Tigers. So a rematch, and we'll see what happens. But the game on Monday, you'll like this being a hockey guy. The Zamboni driver went home, so they didn't cut the ice for the intermission.
It was bad weather out here.
Yeah, you got to go home. We're staying here, and we're going to begin the second half between the Planets and the Indians. Mars will have the basketball to begin things. On the far side wing, it's controlled by Ethan Lewis, who really might be the unsung hero of that first half. Throw up a shot and fouled is Nierhoff. By the way, Lewis with 8 points, Nierhoff with 10, so I wasn't off base by saying those two, right?
Lewis was great in the second quarter, especially on the glass. He was really the answer that Mars needed inside.
Oh, here's Owen Nierhoff's first shot, and that is good. You got an embarrassing story about Owen?
A couple, yeah, honestly. He had a brother that was in my grade, and so, there were a lot of times where we kind of picked on him. And so I'd like to take some of the credit for his success right now for his reason for being so tough. Don't tell him that, though.
Hopefully he doesn't listen.
Also a great quarterback for the Mars Planets.
3 ball in the air and drained. It is good. That was Blake Shields on the 3 ball, by the way. And lead pass up ahead. Here's Lewis off the window. Hard to the rim. 34-31. Back the other way. Here come the Indians. Slow things down. Blake Shields with the basketball to his far side at Jack. Stapleton with it. He'll throw up a shot and a foul call. And those of you thinking Stapleton's all over the floor, well, they are. Dylan Stapleton, Riley Stapleton, and Derek Stapleton. There's 3 of them, and they all get significant amount of playing time. In fact, 2 of them start. And a missed shot off the inbound, so bounce pass to get it here to the near side wing. Nearhoof swing it out here to Christian Schmidt. Nearhoof pulling up for 3. Off the rim, rebound. Talking about playing above the rim, Darius Carter pulled that thing down before it came down past the rim. Now a 3 off the rim from the far side wing, thrown up by Blake Shields. Now loose, and Mars able to pick up the basketball, and finding it was Mitch Verplank. And Verplank over to Nearhoof. The far side, Schmidt for 3. Far side wing, 3 ball, it's good. 36-31. Oh, they called it a 2. Everybody got excited. I did, PA announcer did, fans did, West didn't. Bucketed the foul on the other end. Darius Carter.
Let's see if he improved upon his foul shooting here in the second half.
You have to assume Carter played football, right?
I would hope so for their sake. Because, man, you could throw him some jump balls. I would like to know what his vertical is.
Here's Carter at the line. First one, and he'll convert for the bucket. 3-point play the old-fashioned way. 36-34, Planets on top. Nearhoof gets the basketball. Double team. Will just throw it up for Schmidt, who makes a nice reception, and now still with it. Battles with it, throws it cross court. Finding it was Nick Dekamp. He worked it to the point at Schmidt. He'll kick it out to Nearhoof, who gives it back to Schmidt. 3 ball from the top of the key. No good, but the ball comes all the way back out to Schmidt and back to Nearhoof. And Nearhoof returns the favor. To the far wing corner. And a cross-court pass all the way to Schmidt. Great ball movement by the Planets on this trip. Schmidt with the basketball on a right-handed dribble. Back over to Nearhoof. He'll pull up deep. NBA range 3. Rims out. Tipped around. And Indiana gets the rebound. Garibos got the, or I beg your pardon, that was Shields got the rebound. And then that one went out of bounds off of the Planets. So Indiana maintaining possession with 5:12 to play here in the third. It's 36-34. Planets lead it. They get it into Blake Shields. Shields bounce pass to his far side, and Chris McConnell, who's checked into the game for the Indians. Hand off to Riley Stapleton. And now to Shields. Drive and throw up a shot for Jordan Hazicki. And they'll say he'll head to the line. No, they're going to say Chris McConnell gets the shot here. So the 6-foot junior heads the line. And Hazicki is going to check in. McConnell's first is good. Second one on the way from McConnell. Off the mark. Rebound. Fought for and won by the Planets, Ethan Lewis. Lewis brings it up the floor. And they'll drive. Blocking foul. Shuffling the feet was Chris McConnell. McConnell's first. Will be the team's second. 3-2 in fouls. Inbound coming from the baseline. Schmidt will get it in. The Dekamp. Dekamp bounce pass inside and kicking it back out to Nearhoof was Lewis. Nearhoof, right block drive, up and fouled. And Owen Nearhoof headed to the line to shoot 2.
That's 3 on Carter. If he gets another one, that could be bad for the Indians.
Hey, we got a box out.
Nero misses the first. And that one is good. Bounce pass here to the near side. 3 ball in the air off the rim, no good. Shields misses the 3, and the rebound to the Planets. Worked here to the near side. Schmidt for 3. That one off the rim, high off the rim, and pulling it down was Riley Stapleton. Stapleton works it inside to the baseline. Off the window, good for 2. Blake Shields. We're tied at 37. Fetchko with the basketball. Lost it. Taken away by Riley Stapleton. Stapleton over to McConnell. McConnell to the baseline to Carter. Misses. Rebound on the putback. Spilled out for Riley Stapleton. 4th time, 3rd time, 28th time it went in. My goodness. Blake Shields puts back to the putback.
Seriously. I think they had about 4 or 5 chances there. That height advantage for Indiana really paying off there. And just like that, here comes John Castello, the tallest player for Mars, back into the game. They got to do a better job of boxing out the Planets.
Fetchko picked up his first and the team's 4th. So John Costello and Darius Carter, ironically, the 2 tallest on the floor for either side, both playing with 3 fouls and currently on the floor. Shields with the basketball now. They'll throw it out to Kevin Jack. Jack here to the near side wing. 3 ball for Hazuki, off the mark, no good. Rebound pulled out by Blake Shields. Shields works it into Riley Stapleton, left block, and a blocking foul before the shot. Schmidt, his second to Team Smith. Inbound goes to the center line. Very close to over and back. 3 is in the air. Well off. The putback is good by Darius Carter, who was waiting for it on the other end. It was almost like that shot was a pass.
When you got a guy like Darius Carter inside, you can get away with that. He, again, is just all over the place in the second half.
Inbound from the baseline. And the Planets push it up. Christian Schmidt with the basketball, pulling it out on a right-handed dribble. 2:45 to play in the third. Nearhoof trying to get it into the baseline. Loose basketball, fought for, tipped up, and some way Blake Shields was able to come away with that basketball. 41-37, Indiana leads, works it inside to Stapleton, and that one is good. Riley Stapleton. And someone lost a shoe, and then the official wanted to hand it to Wes.
He could sense that I was a long enough.
I don't know what happened.
This is your colors.
That was Christian Schmidt's shoe.
He didn't let it slow him down, man. He was back hustling.
43-37. Planets double teamed. He stepped on the line. Indiana basketball. Fetchko quickly in. DeCamp will take a seat. Inbound, gets it in here to the near side. They go to the baseline with it. A little give and go. They give it to Carter. Carter up and away. Offensive foul. That will be his 4th, and he's going to take a seat. So Jacob Zillinkus into the game, and a steal there. Up and good for two on the steal and score. Kevin Jack, 45-37. And then crossed all the way. Bucket and the foul for John Costello. Terrific pass from Schmidt to be aware enough to throw it about 3/4 of the length of the court. Hadzicki picks up his second foul, the team's fifth, and here is the three-point play the old-fashioned way, completed. John Costello.
He's going to really have an opportunity to make his mark on the game now with Darius Carter sitting in foul trouble.
45-40, a huge play there for the Planets. Driving left block, kick out. 3 balls in the air for Indiana, off the rim. It was thrown up by Dylan Stapleton. And Marsh got the rebound. Fetchko here to the near side. It's Neerhoof with the basketball. Drives left block, throwing up a shot. And on the floor, we have a foul against the Indians. And 33. Zillinkus picks up the foul. Zucky takes a seat. And we got a timeout on the floor with 1:40 to play here in the third. It's 45-40. Champ Sports Network's high school basketball game of the week. A good one, as Indiana has been able to now a second time being able to get a couple baskets, get a nice lead, and Mars able to did that big play when they need it, they get it.
They've been relentless. Like you said, that's kind of how it was in the first quarter. Indiana had like a 12-point lead. Mars clawed their way back in and looked. I think Indiana had a 6-point lead, and they forced a turnover down in the corner. It looked like things could, again, turn their way, and Mars was just able to keep playing strong defense, keep up really good ball movement they've had in order to break the Indiana press here at times. And they're going to have to keep doing that. They're going to have to keep working together as a team, being stingy on defense and getting points off of turnovers.
So after the timeout, well, Mars is still enjoying the timeout right now. And now after the timeout, we get the inbound. Neerhoof, 3, off the rim. And the rebound to the Indians. It was pulled down by Stapleton. To the baseline, the hook shot. Wow, on the shooter's roll. How about that, Riley Stapleton? They're going to give that to Zillinkus. Almost got his pocket picked out of bounds off of Indiana. Mars basketball still. 7-point advantage for Indiana over Mars. With 9 minutes and 12 seconds left to go in this one. 1:12 here in the third. Christian Schmidt works it over to the far side. Ethan Lewis. Bounce pass back here to the near side, and Schmidt. Schmidt bounce pass to Bailey Trisac, who's into the game. Lost control, steal, and score on the other end. Riley Stapleton for the basket. Stapleton with 10 tonight. And a foul on the other end. Headed up for the shot was Owen Neerhoof, and he's going to the line. And this foul charge to number 33, Jake Sweat. Hey, have Derek play the middle. Neerhoof. Shot is good. Neerhoof leads them all with 14 tonight. Second one off the mark. Tipped around, and Indiana pulls it down. Indiana working the outside perimeter with 30 seconds to go in the third. standing with the basketball. Kevin Jack before starting the dribble. Working it over to the far side. On the baseline, Stapleton works it back out to Jack at the top of the key, and a foul. No, travel is called.
Got to think Mars will play for the last shot here. 18.5 seconds left.
Clock winds as they rolled it out to Schmidt, who's across the timeline with 14. We're down to 10. Neerhoof with the basketball. Right block, hook shot. Trying to draw a foul. Did not. Rebound pushed up ahead with 2. With 1 at the buzzer. Off the rim. And that's going to be the way we'll end 3 here for Mars. Indiana 49, Mars 41. We'll play 8 more here for Mars in our game of the week. You have to imagine, Wes, that this game just plays out so differently if the fouls play differently. I think John Costello and Darius Carter, arguably the 2 best players on the floor, and they haven't been able to be out there. And Carter, who knows when he's going to come out with only 1 more foul to give.
Yeah, that's going to be a risky proposition to see when they put him back in. 8 minutes left. You certainly don't want to lose him for down the stretch if things were to stay close. And as you mentioned, John Costello from the Planets, he only has 3 fouls now, so he still has 1 to work with. But he missed the good majority of the first half, and he's really been a big swing in this game since he's been back, especially inside from Mars, who has been undersized on the glass. So it'll be interesting to see how the refs call this fourth quarter, how the teams play it. Darius Carter, I'm sure we're going to see him soon if this thing gets a little bit closer, if Indiana gets into some trouble. But I bet you they'll try and keep him comfortable on the bench, able to go in here at first until we get a couple minutes into this fourth quarter.
Well, rare broadcast for our friends from Indiana, as I don't get too many games here on the network. They're the farthest east school in the WPIAL. So those of you tuning in that couldn't make the trip, if your space shuttle was broken down and you couldn't come out here to Mars, is that bad? Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
It happens a lot, don't worry.
Well, being from Moon, I know.
Yeah, we had to gas up the jet to get to school every day.
Right. Indiana going to inbound after that one, a foul called. And now the Indians set up shot to begin things here in the fourth quarter. Stapleton with the basketball. Feed inside to Derek Stapleton, and a travel called against Indiana before the steal, apparently. Mars had the ball when the whistle was blown. They got it in. Dangerous throw, but able to push it up the floor. And Gia Leonardo into the game, the sophomore, Ryan Gia Leonardo. He has the basketball now. Pass, triple teams, and it rolled out to Neerhoof. And Neerhoof threw it right into the awaiting hands of Riley Stapleton, who wears red and not white. Stapleton with the basketball. 7 minutes to play. 3-ball in the air for Blake Shields. He missed it, airballed it. And the rebound pulled down by Gia Leonardo. And he pushes it up the floor to Neerhoof. Neerhoof, the baseline jumper. Inside the rim, popped out. And back up the floor come the Indians. Stapleton out to Blake Shields. Feed, and the slam applied by Riley Stapleton, the 6'5 junior. And now on the other end, a slam by John Costello. And now we got a dunk fest.
Man, now what a sequence of events there. That brought the gym to life.
And he got the foul as well. That will be the third Indiana's 8th bucket is good. Costello hits the three-point play, 51-44. Now another three in the air from Stapleton. Off the rim. Rebound is pulled down by Costello. Boy, oh boy, they missed him, did they not? Just as that presence inside. He gets the ball over on the far side wing. Bounce pass inside Neerhoof, who's driving inside. Up and fouled. And Neerhoof's headed to the line to shoot two. 6:02 to play. And that is the team's 9th.
That'll be the 4th foul on Derek Stapleton for the Indians. So now 2 guys in foul trouble with 4 for Indiana.
Derek Stapleton's the only senior. Kevin Jack, a junior. Riley Stapleton, a junior. Blake Shields, a junior. And Dylan Stapleton, a sophomore. So kind of getting a look at the future of Indiana basketball here with Darius Carter sitting on the bench right now being a spectator. WPIAL's going to charge him $6 if he sits anymore.
Well, it's $3 for students.
Okay. That's okay. There's a tip and a steal by Neerhoof. Neerhoof all the way to the rack. Bucket and the foul. Owen Neerhoof practically just threw that one up, and it found its way through the cylinder. How about it? And Owen's going to the line for another three-point play for the Planets. And Greg Lazzani has seen enough. He needs a timeout, 51-48. And here comes Darius Carter back into the lineup with 5:46. And he's desperately needed at this point because, once again, the Planets have erased the deficit.
John Costello's really kind of opened things up for them. You could tell that that Neerhoff feels much more comfortable with him out there. As you said, Darius Carter now coming in for Indiana to try and answer that from Mars. But ever since he got that dunk and one, it's been the momentum's all been in Mars's way here. Got things down to cut the lead down to 3 points right now with a chance to make it 2 if Neerhoff can finish the 3-point play the old-fashioned way here.
Oh, we got a good one. Who picks these games? I'm not
He
sure.
must be a genius.
I think it's Jeff Wake or Mike Oste, one of those two. Maybe it's Alex Wiederspoon.
There's a name I haven't heard in a while.
There you go. He'll be back around. Alex. 3-point play is hit. Alex, by the way, Youngstown State University is not in Pennsylvania. Just throwing that out there. Inside joke. 51-49. Indiana double team will throw it off of Mars to keep the possession. Heads up play by the junior Kevin Jack to get the ball back. Inbound. Gets it right into Jack on the baseline. And it's taken away. A steal by Nick DeCamp, who settles the dribble down and then works it over to Gio Leonardo. Cross-court pass and a steal. And here comes Riley Stapleton. The two-handed flush. 53-49. To the baseline. Kick out. Rotates. 3-ball from Neerhoof. Off the rim. Tipped up into the air. Out of bounds. Off of Mars, Indiana basketball. (53-49) with 5 minutes to play in regulation. It's Kevin Jack with the basketball to the baseline. Inside, Carter up and good. Darius Carter. He has 15, which is impressive for the lack of playing time. Gio Leonardo with the basketball, weaving his way through. Gives it away to Costello, running the baseline. The far side wing three is good. Nick DeCamp, the senior, drains it. Timeout on the floor. We are at a 55-52 advantage right now for Indiana. But it's still an eternity left in this one with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to play.
Mars needed that one. Big three there from DeCamp. Mars had a couple straight empty possessions there. You have a feeling with Darius Carter back in the game now, as long as he's in the game, Mars is going to have to really shoot well and have to play well on the perimeter, because you would think he's going to continue to lock things down inside and just own the glass like he has so far in this game.
Don't forget, coming up on January 18th on the Jam Sports Network, our exclusive presentation of the USA Bowl from Daytona Beach, Florida.
Oh, you're smiling. Escaping this cold weather, I see, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go down a week early. I'm going to leave tomorrow. Got to do my prep work, right?
The perks of champs.
Oh, boy. Don't forget, January 18th. Hope you listen, Wes.
Only if I could get some of the sunshine through the radio waves.
Indiana works it inside of the baseline. Throw up a shot on the putback. It's good. Blake Shields. 57-52, 4 minutes to play. Up the floor comes Christian Schmidt. Schmidt got his pocket picked by Jack, and Jack gets the layup. 59-52. Big 4 points there for Indiana. 3 ball by DeCamp. Off the rim, tipped away. Rebound pulled down by Blake Shields. Shields ahead to Kevin Jack. Back to Shields. Shields the pull-up J, and good. Great mid-range jump shot by Blake Shields.
Quick 6-0 run there for the Indians. Mars has got to answer here.
And a foul, and a quick foul, and I think that might be it for Darius Carter. Yep. So Darius Carter done. He will watch the final 3 minutes and 21 seconds of this one. Maybe he won't. He left. Christian Schmidt at the line. First shot, no good. Three minutes, 21 seconds. Second one from Schmidt is no good, but the rebound is tipped up and taken away by Indiana. Kevin Jack up the floor. Here come the Indians. On a left-handed dribble, left block. Floater is good. Nicely done and nice touch. 63-52, and just like that, an 11-point advantage for Indiana.
That was quick, huh?
Schmidt, the feed inside to Costello. Bucket is good. And we're back down to 9.
Mars has got to get a stop here.
And there is a diving attempt by Nierhoff, but Indiana was able to get the ball back. Nearly threw it out of bounds there, was able to get it over to Blake Shields. Shields on the run, right block, throw up a shot, no good, but a foul is called off the rebound. And this is going to be 1-on-1? Yeah. Ethan Lewis, third foul, and that will send Jordan Hazuki to the line. Hazuki's first is no good. The rebound to the Planets. And here they come. Schmidt tipped out of bounds off of Indiana. Planets will have the basketball. Out to Nierhoff. Swing it to Gio Leonardo. And now DeCamp for 3. And he hits it on the near side wing. A much-needed 3 ball. 63-57. Coming up on 2 minutes to play. Cross-court pass here to the near side. Blake Shields. And they go back to the far side. To Jack. Bucket of the foul as they fed it inside. And Jordan Hazuki. And this one to expand the lead back to 8. Or to 9. Will be no good. A putback opportunity was then either Score remains 65-57, and they want an offensive foul. They're not going to get a blocking foul, and Neerhoof's going to the line, and that could have easily went either way.
There's been a couple of those plays here in the past couple minutes that could have gone either way. Both teams really crashing the glass, trying to drive the lane, trying to draw fouls with how tight they've been calling this all game.
Neerhoof converting at the line. Neerhoof hits 20. Make it 21. 6-point game. Pressuring the basketball, of course, are the Planets. It got tipped, but nobody was in the middle of the floor. Picking it up, Kevin Jack, and a foul is called. Nick DeCamp gets called for the foul. That's the 8th team foul. So a 1-and-1 for Kevin Jack. These are the big free throws here. First of the 1-and-1. He'll get a second. There's a foul there. As Hazicki's going to get called for the foul. He practically pushed.
And that's exactly what Mars wants here.
Yeah.
A chance to get points, no time coming off the
Absolutely.
clock.
John Costello will walk down the length of the floor. He'll get 2 shots. Hit the first. 66-60. Marsh could mail this one in multiple times, and they continue to battle their way back. And he missed the second. Indiana able to get it across the timeline. Jack swing it out to Blake Shields, back to Jack, and now Jack and Shields play pitch and catch. That one got tipped away, but ended up finding an Indian. And then rolling out of bounds off of Mars. So Indiana gets the inbound from the baseline. Nate Zablowski comes in for Mars. Jack to inbound. Will get it in quickly to Shields. Down to a minute 25 to play. Jack dribbling with the basketball. Worked it inside. Throw up a shot. Foul is called. And Linkus will head to the line to shoot 2. Lewis picks up his 4th foul with a minute 20. Off the mark on the first. Schmidt and DeCamp into the game. A minute 20 to play, 66-60. And that one rims out, and a foul against Indiana. They got the rebound too, so that was a much-needed foul.
I think they called over the back. Yeah, and that's 4 on Hazicki now. 2 players on the court for Indiana with 4, already with 1 starter fouled and their best player fouled out.
2 shots here. Ethan Lewis, first one is good. Gio Leonardo back into the game for Schmidt. I'm going to say for defensive purposes here. And the second one is good. And Lewis will take a seat for Zablowski, who comes in as well. Minute 18, it's 66-62. Indiana's going to have to make free throws here, and that thrown out of bounds but tipped off by Mars. Mars can't get a steal off the inbound here. They're likely going to foul. That will be 2 shots for Indiana. They're going to have to hit them, though. They get it in. It's Stapleton. They work it out. Kevin Jack is fouled. And Costello will pick up his 4th foul. Played a lot cleaner game in the second half than Costello. Remember, he had 3 fouls in the first half. Some big shots here from his 6'3 junior. And he misses the first. And here come the offensive substitutions as Ethan Lewis back into the game.
Mars has their shooters in.
Second one is no good. The rebound goes to Lewis. Lewis up to Schmidt with a minute to play. Here's Nearhoof. Bounce pass inside. The bucket is good by John Costello. Timeout on the floor. It's a 2-point basketball game with 57 seconds. And Mars, again, coming back down 11, has erased that 11-point deficit, and they trail by just 2 with 57 seconds to play in this one.
John Costello, what a difference he's made in this second half. He didn't see much time in the first half due to foul trouble. He's been out there for a lot of this half, especially this quarter, and he's just been all over the place, been on the glass, making tough shots, making good defensive plays, challenging shots inside, and he's really been the difference for Mars here in the second half. 16 points right now, which is very impressive with all the time he missed, and you got to think if Mars is going to pull this one out, he's going to play a big factor in that.
Blake Shields has really stepped up in his role. He has 18. And Riley Stapleton, also a junior, with 14. Inbound for Indiana after the timeout. Don't need to foul really here and let this play out. And the layup is good, though. Quick layup by Riley Stapleton. 68-64, 4-point advantage. Down to 45 seconds. DeCamp, bounce pass to Gio Leonardo. Kicked it back out to DeCamp. Worked it here to Nearhoof. 3 is in the air. It's no good. The rebound by Indiana. Loose and a foul is called. And that, again, is going to send Kevin Jack to the line, who went 0 for 2 his last trip at the line. These could be huge. I mean, you miss, you're in good shape. And Mars is really going to have to push the ball up the floor and really has to get a 3 if he hits these here. First one for Jack is good. Substitutions check in. Second shot on the way for Kevin Jack with 36 ticks to play. Good timeout on the floor. A 60-second timeout and a 70-64 advantage for Indiana. So, no, undoubtedly, Wes, you're setting up an offensive play that's going to see one of your sharpshooters try to take a shot. And really, the wing corners have been the hot spots for the Mars Planet shooters.
Yep, Nick DeCamp has really shot well here in the fourth quarter. I think you'll see some type of screen off the inbound and Mars trying to get a quick shot without much time coming off the clock. A lot of people crashing inside in case there's a rebound. But yeah, Mars is going to have to get some points here quick and hope that Indiana misses some foul shots down the stretch.
So 36 seconds to play, 70-64. A 6-point advantage for the Indiana Indians. 9-1 on the year, trying to go to 3-1. Would make both of these teams, should Indiana hold on, both of these teams would go to 3-1 in section play and really set up a 3-way slugfest between Indiana, Mars, and Knock. And it seems like it's always Mars and Knock, you know. And Indiana's playing right into this. Well, here we go. Quickly up the floor is Christian Schmidt across the timeline with 30 seconds to Nearhoof. Nierhoff on a drive to the baseline will throw up the shot. It is no good. The second opportunity on the putback, it is good. John Costello puts it in. Timeout taken by the Planets. Back to a 4-point game with 24 seconds to play. And, well, this is why we're not coaching, because they took the quick two, and they got the quick two. Maybe not as quick as they wanted to. They really wanted Nierhoff to make that shot. Nice play by Costello, though, to put it back.
Crashing the glass was Costello again. It's kind of been a theme here in the fourth quarter, especially with Darius Carter out for Indiana. Quick 2 points. I think it looked like only about 8 seconds came off the clock, and they're going to go for a steal here. If not, we'll see the quick foul. And again, Indiana, they got to make the foul shots. If they make their foul shots, they should be all right here in these last 24 seconds. But they've been a little streaky from the foul line so far this game.
Yeah.
Mars hoping that continues, or just that they can get a steal or force a turnover off the inbound.
Well, Jack has shot the last 4 shots for Indiana at the line, and he's 2 for 4. Rob Carmody trying to draw something up defensively for the Planets. So they get it in off the inbound. Pass up ahead to the baseline, down to 18 seconds. Playing some keep away here at center court, and a quick foul with 11 seconds. Got him in the face there. Nierhoff gets called. That's his 3rd foul. 2 shots coming for Riley Stapleton, and Stapleton's not the guy that you want to send to the line. He's been one of the most efficient at the line. He has 16 points.
A lot of time came off the clock there, too, before Mars was able to.
He missed the first.
Jinxed him.
I tend to do that to a lot of people. And a miss. Rebound. And push up. Got to get up the floor quickly. We're down to 5. Throwing up a shot. It is well short. Down to 2. Foul is called. Indiana's going to get out of here with the win.
Just really nowhere there to go for Owen Nierhoff. They knew he was going to be the one to take the shot. Costello tried to screen for him, but he was heavily defended on that one.
Ethan Lewis fouls out. Pretty much a formality at this point as Riley Stapleton comes up. It's a 4-point advantage. Fans start to funnel out of the Mars Gymnasium as Indiana puts the finishing touches on an impressive victory. Riley Stapleton converts his first at the line. Makes it 71-66. Stapleton was 17. If he hits this, he will tie Blake Shields for the most on the Indians. And he does not. That will do it. And that will run timeout. Indiana moves to 10-1 on the season. More importantly, splits up with Mars 3-1 apiece as Indiana comes to Mars and gets a hard-fought victory, 71-66, as the Indians continue and weather all the storms that the Planets threw at them throughout this one, and inevitably able to come out with a lot of it. There was a lot of adversity that they had to face, and they were able to get the job done despite that.
Indiana, a ton of fouls, ton of guys in foul trouble. I think they had 2 players that ended up fouling out, but they were able to weather every storm that Mars made, and Mars really was relentless in this game. They never gave up. They every time it looked like they could mail it in, if you will, they ended up clawing back in it, finding a way back into the game. Can't say enough about the effort they had, even with guys like John Costello in foul trouble, but not enough.
Got Coach with us Coach, a big win here coming to Mars. This section's a gauntlet, and being able to come here and get a big win here tonight, huge.
You know, you said it, everything. It is a gauntlet, and what a tough place to play. You know, and Mars plays so hard. You know, and you know, defending section champs, as far as I'm concerned, they are the champs until somebody beat them. And thankfully tonight it was us. But all we did was get ourselves back into some position. You know, we kind of dropped the ball a little bit at knock, but every night's a battle.
9-1 now, 10-1 on the season, and got to feel good right now moving into the really the stick and the brunt of the section schedule.
Absolutely. You know, we struggled a little bit early, but you saw tonight my team's starting to come together. You know, we're cheering on the bench, and that just wasn't us, you know, a month ago. And it's nice to see. You know, we tell the guys that come January is when you got to start playing and start, you know. No one cares as long as you win games in December. It doesn't matter in March, but now's when we got to start coming together and playing hard. And I was really, really pleased with our effort tonight.
You had a couple opportunities, 10-point advantages tonight, and they evaporated. But being able to weather those storms and some adversity with some guys getting into foul trouble.
We were in deep foul trouble. You know, we knew they couldn't stop Darius. I mean, what an athlete he is. Looks like he's going to go to Virginia now to play football. He's still committed to Temple. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but
breaking news apparently.
Yeah, but you know, but we did weather those storms, and we've been working hard the last 2 weeks on our full court pressure. But you know, in this type of caliber basketball, you can't press for 32 minutes. You have to pick your spots, and I thought the guys did a nice job by putting the press, you know, and getting us that run, and we weathered the storm when we got in foul trouble.
Rest of the way, obviously, you'll see Mars and Knock down the road, and it seems like it's going to be a three-horse race for this section title now.
Yep, it sure is, and now, you know, we got a big one Friday night at home with Freeport, and we can't look ahead. You know, it's a crazy cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. I mean, we have to take them one at a time, and don't worry about what anybody else is doing, because what this win did for us tonight was we kept our destiny in our own hands. We don't need help as long as we take care of business every night. You
have to feel good with your younger guys, the juniors stepping up. Some of the seniors got in foul trouble, and the juniors able to step up.
They sure did. You know, Zelinska's played a heck of a game in there. You know, as a sophomore, Dylan Stapleton as a sophomore. Jordan Hadzicki came off the bench as senior. You know, and hasn't got a whole lot of playing time in this year for various reasons. But boy, he battled hard, and like you said, the underclassmen, you know, really stepped up, and you know, we've got all these seniors, but the seniors are the heart of the team, you know, but boy, I've got some underclassmen that can play basketball.
Well, the future looks bright for Indiana basketball both this year and in the future. Coach, congratulations on the win. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
All right, Indiana gets the win, and they moving on to, as he mentioned, Freeport coming up next, and for the Planets, they'll have a contest showdown as they travel to the Golden Rams of Highlands. So two section games coming up for both teams coming up, and this one was, dare I say, Wes, out of this world.
Dare you say it was? It was a great game. You know, it really, I think we mentioned this a couple times. Early on, it looked like Indiana might run away with this thing. Early in the second half, it looked like Indiana might run away with this thing. But Mars found a way to weather every storm. They found a way to keep in this game through defense, through transition buckets, through just a lot of great passes, a lot of good teamwork. And but you know, Indiana just they had the size advantage. It looked like they had the better athletes, and they were able to pull away with this one down the stretch and keep the lead for the most part.
Taking a look at the updated standings in Section 1, Knock is atop the section at 4-0, 9-1 overall, and now Mars and Indiana share the second spot, 3-1, 3-1. So this, if one or maybe both of the teams able to beat Knock, this is going to be really fun to watch down the stretch as far as those three teams battling it out. Obviously, you're going to get the four spots that head into the postseason. So I think there's going to be a 3-team battle for first place and a 3-team battle to see who comes up with that fourth spot.
Absolutely, it should be a lot of fun to follow this down the stretch. Like you said, Knock, Mars, and Indiana all there in the mix of things, and will figure to be in the mix of things all season long. And it'll really be, you know, they're gonna these now that they're into the meat of this, you know, this section schedule. it's going to take a consistent effort every night from these teams. Make sure that they win every game that they should win, that they're not looking over anybody on the schedule, and that each of these teams can. It's still early. You heard Coach mention that Indiana now controls their own destiny, but it's still early. Any of Knock, Mars, a couple other teams could probably change that around and make things go their way, and so it'll be interesting to see in this Section 1 what happens here the rest of the way in AAA.
No question about it, as AAA is just kind of that interesting, got a bunch of one-loss teams. Just to name the one-loss teams, you have Knock, now you have Indiana, you have Central Valley in Section 2, you have Uniontown is 10-1 in Section 3, you have Elizabeth 4, they're 9-1, Steel Valley in the same section down in Section 4, they're 7-1. Chartiers Valley and South Fayette, they're 8-1 and 7-1 respectively. AAA this year is so wide open. I think the favorite has to be Chartiers Valley based off of what they brought back, but I think there's really any number of teams. I've already been able to compare Mars and Montour, and I think they're very comparable. And now with Indiana being able to do what they did, why not Indiana stirring things up, putting some teams that you haven't heard in the mix of things in AAA. What do we call this? February frenzy instead of March Madness. Is that something?
Coin that term.
I'm sure someone's already taken it. I won't take credit. Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage. High school hockey on the network tomorrow night. Al Lesh and Brian Fadley will have the call from that hot airport ice arena. It's freezing in there.
Do they still have the skate park there?
No, they don't. It's like a recreation. Anyway, Tigers and Colts here on the Champ Sports Network. And then on Tuesday, we will have our high school basketball game of the week. Newcastle and Hampton, 1 and 2 in Quad A. Should be a dandy in that one. Don't forget, coming up at the end of the month, the Champ Sports Network Coaches vs. Cancer Basketball Classic. That will be at Geneva College. 6 great games starting at 1:30. We'll have all that. And then the following day, the Pittsburgh Basketball Classic. 6 more. 12 games in 24 hours.
Let's do it.
We're going to call all 12, right?
Yeah, just you and I.
Just us. For Wes Ulher, the hometown kid tonight.
Yep, it's good to be back. I was glad to see my alma mater hang in there when things looked bleak a couple times, and they're going to be all right this year.
Well, for Wes, I am Matt Fargo saying this has been a presentation of the Champ Sports Network, where champions are heard. Good night, everybody, for Mars, where Indiana gets the win 71-66.